Okay, so next is Denise from Atlas Yoga Studio. So I've been trying to spend money on advertising, primarily Google ads, and I'm failing at this. Seems most people find us organically. Yes. How do we advertise today in a way that helps our target market notice? Well, Denise, who's your target market? That's the question.
I'm a yoga teacher's yoga teacher, and
Okay.
we're looking to work with, I mean, people find us organically better than they find us any other way. And everyone who's had an experience with us comes back and refers people. But we've wanted to grow into more of a global enterprise, and we've been trying to share testimonials and information. And I put myself in front of a camera, even though I hate being in front of a camera. And it's just not track. Actually, the more money we spend on Google, the less profitable it's been.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I chatted with some people who are digital experts, and they're like, why are you spending money on Google ads? People are finding you mostly organically. And so I've kind of regrouped, and I'm listening to what you're saying to other people here. And I've been doing that. I just feel like I'm throwing a lot of energy at the wall, hoping something will stick. And I don't feel, I like structures.
Yeah.
And I like to be organized. And I like to think that the money I'm spending is either serving someone or serving me. It's like, I hate that I'm just throwing all this money out there with marketing and advertising, and I don't feel like there's a concerted effort. I feel like I'm doing yoga on lava is kind of what it feels like.
So you've got 60 seconds. Tell us everything you can about who you're trying to reach.
Like my target market? Yes, it's 80% women, 20% men. She's professional, educated. She's usually in transition. She's ritualistic, and she is informed, often political. She is either thinking about having a baby, has her first baby, or in the middle of having the second one. She's I said educated, and she's interested in a career with meaning. So she's either had a career that she did really well at, and now she's ready to have a career that has more meaning, whether it has more money or is not as important as it is satisfying. So that's
okay. And in 1 minute, what's unique in your experience anyways about your yoga, what you teach and the way you do it?
time. We've been doing this, we've been training yoga teachers since 1997. And experience, I'm one of the senior yoga teachers in Canada.
Yeah.
And number of hours of training that I've had, over 10,000. And we offer a trauma-informed, inclusive, accessible, and politically aware training program that's going to help you to become a yoga teacher that is following your own dharma, not some system that I created.
Now, are you primarily wanting students, or are you wanting yoga teachers to join your teacher trainings?
The biggest part of our market is yoga teachers who want to go on to become yoga therapists.
Okay, great. Okay, so is it okay if we focus on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so yoga teachers want to become yoga therapists. And do you teach online at all, or is it all in person?
Since March 13th, 2020, it's all online.
All online, got it. Okay. And so people have been finding you organically online, primo. Okay, so let's do this on Denise's behalf is, okay, so brainstorm for Denise. Where are you based, by the way?
Southern Ontario. Well, with the online market, it's like, I'm helping a woman in the Philippines right now.
Well, I understand. I'm just curious personally where you are.
Yep, I'm in Simcoe, near Lake Erie. We're sailors as well.
All right. Okay, so now you all on the call, you all heard a bit about her practice. Of course, it's so condensed, but we'll do the best that we can. What I'm going to invite you to do is to type in the chat. I've put brainstorm for Denise, yoga teachers. So yoga teachers of the kind she described who would be interested in the type of work that she just laid out. Where would you find them? That's the question. What are the hubs? So I'm going to set a timer for about 2 minutes. And we're going to see how many we can get. And here's the goal. There's about 48 of us. So let's get 100. That's 2
Wow.
each. Yeah. As many as possible. So to sort of get the brains going, I can see ideas already coming. So again, we're thinking political. Yeah, I'm imagining sort of left-leaning politically. I don't know, but they're political. They're into ritual ceremony. There's a bit of that. They're drawn to a whole trauma-informed worldview in terms of their yoga. So we're thinking not just, don't go by the demographics. Let's not do brainstorm around how do I find middle-aged or like, women in their 30s. That's pretty useless or not as helpful. But how do we find women in their 30s who are political, who are ritually minded? And you can take those one by one. Where do you find ritually minded people? Where do you find people who are into the trauma-informed stuff? Where do they hang out? Where are they spending their time, their money, their attention? What about political folks who are more political? Where do we find them? Yeah. And yoga teachers. Where do we find yoga teachers? And any combination of those is great. Okay. This is really great, everybody. So everyone see if you can get at least 2 in. Yeah. And if you're stuck, you just can't think, just scan through and what other people have posted. It'll probably give you some ideas.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So we've got, health food stores, daycare centers, LinkedIn, doctor surgeries, yoga clothing shops. That's an interesting one. Reddit, coffee shops, right? And by the way, there may be certain, this is a local idea, but sometimes there's a local political coffee shop. There's a local new age tea shop that may be a place where you could promote. Farmers markets and shops, right? Mental health practitioners, that's a great one, who understand about being trauma informed. Bookshops, yes, and there's certain bookshops. This is the kind of thing where you can go give a talk at a bookshop that and reach people. Retreat centers where teachers regularly run yoga retreats. Yeah, that's possible. I mean, yeah, you can just go to like retreats.com or something, one of these websites, and just start looking through all the people who are teaching yoga retreats, and there's some yoga teachers. Facebook groups, right? Alberta yoga teachers, Edmonton yoga teachers, or whatever the corollary is. Corporate structures, right? There's a workingwell.ca. My friend Michelle Johnston from Toronto brings people into corporations. I mean, there's always that. Mediators is an interesting one. Yeah, people who are into nonviolent communication, maybe those people would be trauma informed. People who are into Gabor Mate and his work would certainly be into trauma.
Definitely.
And right, regenerative agriculture organizations, Reddits and subreddits, women's circles, that's a great one. Meditation groups, meetup groups. There are also people who teach ritual, and some of the, there are 2 different ways to go about this fundamentally, as these ideas keep coming and wonderful to see. One is you go in front of a group of yoga teachers. Yeah, you find them based on the profession, and you say, hey, yoga teachers, are any of you into trauma informed ritual, political, blah blah blah? And now not all of them will raise their hand, but some of them will. Or you can find a group of people who are trauma informed into politics and say, hey, are any of you yoga teachers, or you want to be? And some hands will go. So those are fundamentally 2 different approaches. Yeah. And either could work. Now, of course, if you can find a group that it's all of it together, wonderful. Cause-based trauma centers, right? Radio shows, women's political. Yeah. I mean, gosh, if you got regularly interviewed on a podcast or a radio show that reached your people, huge. Writing a regular column. Maybe it's like, oh, there's a magazine. My women just read this magazine. They worship it. If I could write have a column in it, this would help. Schools open to change, alternative learning, community centers, art literature festivals like the WOW Festival in London, yoga. Yeah, of course, yoga studios. I mean, yoga studios, it's a little tricky because they often do their own teacher trainings, but they may not be doing the trauma-informed thing. Another thing you could do, this is a little trick, is you, let's say you could hire somebody to do this. If you want to spend money, you hire somebody to say, okay, find me all the yoga studios in Toronto, number one, and you could also probably, somebody has that list you could pay for, but you get the list of all the yoga studios, and then and maybe, yeah, yoga studios, and then you have that person find out how many of them do trauma informed anything. And then you get the list of all the ones who don't do trauma informed stuff, and you say, trauma informed is a big deal. And if you have any people who come across your way and they say, oh, I really want a yoga, training, teacher training this, or trauma informed, if you refer them to us, we'll give you a cut. We'll give you $100 for every one you send. Not every yoga studio is going to have it in them to do the trauma informed thing. It's fine. We understand there's a lot of different things needed out there. But if you send them to us, we can set up an arrangement. We can give you a code or whatever. And, if you had a bunch of yoga studios that weren't even interested in doing trauma informed, they're not that political, but it's like, oh man, you should talk to Denise. Her thing is, that's exactly what you need, even more than ours. Maybe that could work. But I mean, try it with 10 yoga studios and even see. Kirtan and chanting, women's centers, right? A poll on your email list is a good way to find them. Just like, hey, here's who I'm looking for. Where do I find these people? Email them, put it on Facebook, find out. Facebook and Telegram trauma groups, charity shops, organic shops, sports stores, body workers, chiropractors, coaches, breastfeeding support group. Interesting, right? Essential oil people could be women's healthcare practitioners or practice arts. Okay, I'm not gonna. There's like so many. This is incredible, everyone. So I would recommend saving this chat, Denise, so you can look through it.
Yeah.
So what this is getting to is hub marketing. And for any of you who want to dig deeper into hub marketing, if you go to, I'll put the URL here, marketingforhippies.com/steps, and look at step 5. It's the 5th step on that page, and you'll see a ton of free resources on hub marketing. Tons of videos. I do a 30-day course, but it won't be happening till next fall around hub marketing and how do you again, the question is not how do you find your ideal people? The question is this: how do you make it easier for them to find you? Yeah, that's the key. And Denise, the other thing I'd really recommend is on YouTube, I've got a playlist on word of mouth marketing, and there's a number of videos there, and I would really dig into that because this is the heart of what is happening as people are talking about it. A couple other things. So you notice I've got 46 people on this call right now. So I do this once a month. It's a free drop-in thing. So if you don't already do that, I might consider doing it. And you come up with what I call your kind of 101 workshop. And the 101 workshop is where you share your point of view. So that's an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, but like once a month. And you get your past student, you give them a place to send people. One of the mistakes we make is we just don't give them a place to send anyone. But or once a quarter, whatever makes sense. You say, hey, we're doing one of these things. You email your past students. Here's some cut and paste text. Could you share the word, spread the word about it with all your folks? So for example, for these calls, I just emailed my list. I put it on Facebook, Instagram. But one of the things I'll be doing moving forward from time to time is all the people in my membership program, which I'll do my shameless plug, and then we'll do one more question. I'll be giving them text to spread the word about this. Hey, I'm in this membership with Tad. It's really great. And he's doing a free call. You should check it out. You see what I'm saying? But if it's just, hey, Tad's great, you should check out his website. That I don't think that's as useful as sending them to an event where they could. Yeah, you get the idea. So hopefully that's helpful. And bless you for this good work that you're doing out there.